All right, so let's talk body language. I'm going to start this by saying the obvious, which is that guys love a confident woman. Okay, and one of the ways that you portray confidence is how you outwardly project. And that all comes down to everything to do with your body language. Essentially, I think there are 3 levels of confidence. Now, I'm not going to talk about 2 of them today, but one of them is the surface level. And that is everything to do with your body, the way you walk, the way you gesture, your facial expression, your smile, your voice, everything that the rest of the world can see. Now, so many people, because I've been doing dating seminars for a long time, and what I find is men seem to value this a lot more than women, and women seem to underestimate the importance of this. So for women, a lot of the time they think about how they dress and their makeup and everything else, but they're not too concerned with their body language. And the amount of guys that I speak to who see a stunningly beautiful woman who then walks around with a slouch and all her energy pointed towards the floor, and then suddenly she's unattractive because she doesn't look like she carries herself well. So the rules I'm giving here, don't think that they just apply to men, because they apply to everyone. So what I'm going to say is, firstly, hold yourself the right way. When you're walking around, one of the most attractive things a woman can do is hold herself the right way. So with your chest, have your chest sticking up, almost like you've got this beam that's pulling you up. So you're being pulled up like this with your shoulders back. Okay? All of your energy needs to be going out this way as opposed to down like a lot of people do. And I'll tell you, the difference between good and bad body language isn't the stereotypical this versus this. Okay, usually it's the difference between this and this. We're talking millimeters here, but there's a big difference. Bad body language, you see all my energy is going towards the floor, my core is weak, versus this. And you're back up again. And here you gesture strong and you feel good. And here you feel strong, okay? So this is where we start, okay? Strong frame. Now, with your hands and with your gestures, when you talk, don't be afraid to gesture. Now, you don't need to gesture as much as me, but when you talk, make sure you gesture. You don't have to stand there all rigid all the time. Be fluid. Okay, so if you're making a point, don't be afraid to gesture. It shows power, it shows confidence. Open palm gestures are really good because obviously they're inviting, as opposed to these sorts of gestures which don't do the same thing. Okay, hands in pockets, don't do it too much. I mean, it's okay to have a hand in your pocket and talk like this, it's fine, it's casual. But don't be closed having both hands in your pockets like that, okay? Again, it shows you're too closed. Not too much of this, although now and again it's okay, but just not too much of it. I'm not going to give you strict rules on body language. I'm just going to give you some general principles. So not too much of this. And again, a lot of women that I see, when they're nervous, when they don't feel too confident, they tend to do this. Okay, don't do that. Don't be putting your hand over your midriff thinking that I'm trying to cover anything up, because immediately it just looks like you're trying to cover something up and you look nervous. Don't clutch your bag walking around. Again, it's a nervous sign. Just relax. If you want help relaxing, one really easy thing to do that's not noticeable is just start to breathe slower. Okay, so a lot of the time before I go on stage in front of a big audience, the one thing I'll do is I'll just stand there and just regulate my breathing, just slow everything down and just relax. Now, body language changes between different segments of an interaction. So what I want you to imagine is at the start of an interaction as a woman, you want to be fun, you want to be energetic, you want to have that sort of inviting persona, okay, because it's all about how approachable you are. Now, you don't need to be approaching men all the time, although I will teach you how to do that. But what you want is for guys to be approaching you. And to do that, you need to have approachable body language. Now, this isn't just down to you. It's down to you and your friends. If you and your friend are standing like this and your friend's standing here and you're talking to each other like this, immediately someone's got a really difficult job to come in and join the interaction. What you really want is if you're with your friend in a bar or a club or wherever you are, you could be in Starbucks, doesn't matter. What you want is to have your friend standing here and you standing here. So you've kind of got this V shape. So from here, you can still talk to your friend and you can still be having a conversation, but at the same time, you can be scanning the room and you can be seeing what's going on. And what a guy sees is, there's room to come in and actually interact with you. Okay, one of the scariest things for a guy is approaching a woman. You've got to understand that. We're terrified of you people. Okay, we are. Because we come in, we think immediately we might get rejected, it might not work. What if you and your friend giggle at us? We're worried about that sort of thing. So you need to make it as easy for us as possible. Open body language, be ready for it, and if guys come up to you, be receptive to it. You don't have to be needy or you don't have to be overly sexual or anything like that. Just be receptive. Now, as you move through, if that early stage is kind of slightly open and energetic. What you want to do is, as the conversation goes forward, don't be afraid to kind of slow it down a little bit. Especially if you're moving into a phase where, let's say, you're trying to seduce a guy, for want of a better word, and you want to make it more sexual, then you want to slow it down a little bit. So slow down your gestures. If you're drinking something, slow down the way you drink it. Make more eye contact. And you almost want to, even with your eyes, I mean, bear in mind, our face has 80 different muscles alone. Okay, how many of them are you using right now? Most of us use a couple, and we have a couple of default facial expressions, but we don't express ourselves in all the way we can. So what you want to do is, as you're moving into those later phases, don't be afraid to play with your expressions a bit. You can even squint your eyes a bit in kind of a sexy way. Slow things down, make more eye contact, slow your voice down, make everything more sensual, make everything more sexual, and just slow it down in that way. Again, this isn't about being overly sexual. There's nothing less sexy than a girl who's trying too hard to be sexy, okay? All you need to do is slow it down a little bit and relax. And by the way, if you get nervous at the start of interactions, this is a useful tool as well. Just slow things down and relax your body. Okay, so if someone comes straight up to you, don't feel like you've immediately got to say something. Your body language should say, okay, I'm curious about you. And let him talk and just relax. And then when you're ready, when you feel like you have something to say, then you can speak. That's what's going to show powerful body language. That's what's going to show you're in control. Okay, so general rules: stand up straight, don't slouch, energy going upwards, not downwards, have open body language with your friend, make sure you're making that killer eye contact, don't be scanning the room while the guy's talking to you, okay, good eye contact, and just relax your breathing, okay. Don't be crossing your arms, don't have your arm across your midriff, don't do any of that stuff, just relax. And if you feel slightly out of control, all you have to do is slow the whole interaction down. Don't worry about moving to the tempo of someone else. If someone else is 100 miles an hour and they're fast and they're talking to you and they're really fast and it's suddenly making you all nervous, just slow down, relax. Don't worry about it, don't go at someone else's pace. You relax, go at your own pace and let them match your pace. Can you see the power in that? It's totally different. And immediately, when a guy sees that you have a different pace, he sees, this is a high-value woman. This isn't someone I can just manipulate and get to through being high energy or through riling her up or teasing her or anything like that. Okay? So there's some general body language tips. Don't trust me, try them. Okay? See how they work for you, and I'll be back soon with more stuff. Take care.